Um, okay, I think you should get a notification. Like I said, I'm Amanda Converse. I'm the Economic Development Coordinator for the town of Orleans. And Jamie, I don't know if you want to introduce yourself as well.
Hi, I'm Jamie Dimitri. I think we know each
Yeah,
other, but I
yeah,
work
we do.
over now in the recreation department as one of the program managers, and I'm also involved with cultural and community events. So there's a little overlap.
Yeah. I'm gonna be a little formal about this just because I am recording. So I'm gonna go
Of
through
course.
like some of the stuff and then and then I can answer any questions, take any feedback. And just so we all know, this is a pilot program. So it's the first time the town of Orleans has done a municipal grant program like this, to my knowledge. And so just asking for applicants and participants to give us as much feedback as possible, but also be flexible as we sort of navigate this together. I personally have run grant programs like this. I ran a local business boost program out of Hyannis, and worked with the town of Barnesville and Hyannis Business Improvement District, to run grant programs there. So I'm kind of basing it off of that, but we want this to be, whatever Orleans and the Orleans business community and nonprofit organization community needs. So, what is it? The Orleans Local Impact Grant Program is, like I said, it's a pilot initiative. So we're offering up to $10,000 in funding to support locally owned businesses and community event organizers. And the goal is to fund projects that benefit those businesses and organizations, but also attract and retain customers to Orleans, promote year-round economic activity, and deliver a measurable community benefit. Um, and just so that means, we're kind of saying the range is $1,000 to $10,000. The application deadline is July 14th. So we've got about 2 more weeks until we get there, and then we will review those applications. And in early August, we will notify people of the award, because the completion deadline for the projects and the work, we are looking at December 31st, 2025. And there is a reason behind that. I think if, moving forward, we would probably give a little bit more time, but because we're working on this as a pilot initiative, I would need to, if we continue to move forward, if there is definitely a need shown for the Orleans community, I'll need to figure out how we continue to fund the program moving forward. So I need to get that done by the end of the year. And then we'll do some program evaluation and figure out the things that worked and didn't work, and move forward in that way. And this is a reimbursement based grant. So that means the business or organization will have to expend the funds, and then we will reimburse after the project or event is complete. And each of the costs will need to be explained and supported with receipts or invoices. A final report will be sent out to fill out, and in order to be reimbursed, that final report will need to be filled out to the town's satisfaction. And of course, we'll pay up to the amount that we grant. We commit to granting in August. And I'm gonna put in the chat the application form, and oh, let's see. I'm gonna put the grant program webpage that lives on um the town's page. You know what? I can't seem to find the chat. So I'm like using the town of Orleans Zoom account. So
I
I'm
know I'm
not
not seeing chat on here
yeah.
either.
So I'll just say, if you go to the town of Orleans webpage in general and hit the business tab, the grant program is the first thing listed on there. So, and that links directly to the information page. I will update it with FAQs as they come in. And then the application form is on there as well. The application, tips for that, I would just say, the more developed and clear your idea is, the better, and including a simple and realistic budget. So I wouldn't try to fund multiple projects or multiple kind of elements. I would just kind of be laser focused on, one aspect, whether that's like a marketing thing or in-store events or facade improvements. Not to say the facade improvement would only be like one element of that, but it's like, don't do a facade improvement and, also I want to, spend some money on marketing. It's like, kind of one or the other. Clearly explain how the project will benefit the Orleans economy, and the community, and I would say, be creative and specific. And then pay attention to the ineligible uses. For now, we're saying ineligible uses are public art installations or standalone art projects. There are other funding mechanisms for that. So we wanted to kind of stay away from those types of projects. Personal expenses, alcohol products, operational expenses like staff wages, utilities, rent, mortgage, those are not going to be covered by this grant. Debt repayment, projects that are located outside of Orleans. So if there's multiple locations, we will not be covering anything that happens outside of Orleans for obvious reasons. Political activities, projects that promote religious activities, and projects that are already fully funded by other municipal grant programs are not going to be considered as well. And we will not be reimbursing for expenses incurred before grant approval. And then the evaluation process, applications will be reviewed by a committee. There will be a scoring system, and that committee will be made up of Town of Orleans staff, members of the Economic Development Committee. So the Economic Development Committee is made up of Orleans residents who they advise the select board on various economic development topics. And then representatives from the Orleans Cultural District will also be on the review committee. And we're looking for, like I said, economic impact, year-round potential, community value, and feasibility and clarity. So unless, Jamie, you can think of anything else to add, Kathy, if there are any questions, and please feel free to ask. And if I don't know the answer right off the top of my head, I will certainly get something to you. But Jamie.
Yeah. I can't remember if you said it or not. When did the project needs to be completed by December 31st? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure I got that.
Yeah.
So
and then
the funds have to be spent and the project complete by then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's something to consider also when you're applying, is like, if it is for facade improvements, are you able to get, the people, the thing, and the work done and all of that, by the end of and I anticipate in the future, should this program continue, that there being a lot more time to complete projects. But like I said, we wanted to get going with this, and kind of like, it's a pilot, so it's very specific and short amount of time, so that we can do some program evaluation and make sure that for the next round we figure out what worked, what didn't, challenges, opportunities, and things like that. So
yeah, I think that was the only clarifier I had. So.
Kathy, did you have any questions?
The one question I had was that eligible uses include event coordination and staffing, but then what's not eligible are salaries and operational costs. How is that different?
Oh, that is a very good question. So what I would say is, it's like if you with the event specific, if you can target how much is of a salary is used to towards this event. So it's like this many staff hours go towards this event. Then we can cover that. But it's not like, oh, they get paid this much a month and you're going to just cover that. It's more like, can you, I used to run a nonprofit organization and we applied for event things and we would say like, staff hours are 20 hours and this is how much an hour that is. And so does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess if
So it's like it's staff time specifically spent on that event. It's
Okay.
not like a general, like they get
Yeah.
paid $1,500 every month and, and we're
Yeah,
going to
sure.
cover that. Yeah.
And this, you said in the beginning, this could include also nonprofits that are run in Orleans.
Yes. So the nonprofit is definitely geared towards the community event aspect of this grant. So for right now, the grant, this pilot program has both the small businesses and community organizations in the same. I think I anticipate moving forward, this will get broken up into two separate grants. But for now, in the pilot program, like I said, we're just kind of feeling our way through this and figuring it out. But nonprofits that run events in Orleans, so the nonprofit doesn't have to be located in Orleans, but the event has to be located in Orleans.
Okay.
So we're, it could be like a nonprofit that's headquartered in Eastham, but they run an event on the Village Green in Orleans, and so we'll support that.
It's good to know.
Yeah, but the nonprofit organization is definitely geared towards community events.
Okay. Interesting.
And we're looking at this as, our local business community and the community events are strong economic drivers to Orleans and for Orleans. And so that's why we're targeting both of those elements.
Okay. Good to know.
But that was a very good question. Thank you. I'll make sure that is clarified.
Right. Yeah, that'll be good.
Okay. And if you didn't have anything else.
Yeah, no, that was why nonprofit was sort of why I was here, not for business, because Mike's on the economic development committee, so he should know all this.
Great. And feel free to ask specific about if you have you can ask super specific questions too, if you want. About like
I sit on the after school board and then my kids' football board, and the ones in Orleans, obviously, and the ones in I think it's based in Harwich.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about stuff last night at our board meeting, and so it was interesting just to see what events. We don't have any specific events, like I don't have anything quite in mind, but we were always looking for grants.
And there's it's good to know about this too, and this is not meant for, it doesn't have to be a super, it doesn't have to be an event that's been happening for years and years and years. Like we definitely want to encourage new things happening here. As like it's definitely good to keep drawing people for different, unique and creative events too. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I had.
All right. Great. Thank you. Thank you for coming and being here.
Of course. Yeah. Saw it pop up on Instagram and I was like, ooh, that looks interesting.
Yeah. Good. And spread the word. Cause like I said, we're, my goal is to have this be something that occurs year over year. But we'll need support for that to happen. Yeah.
For sure. We'll do. Okay. All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.